Dumb but fun. That's the three words I would describe this movie. The Loch Ness Terror, also known as Beyond Loch Ness. Now this is a 2008 TV movie, and basically, as you can probably guess by the title, it's about the Loch Ness Monster. Now the movie starts off with a prologue which takes place in the 70s, where we see a group of scientists trying to discover if the Loch Ness Monster is indeed real. And they have a 12-year-old boy who witnesses basically his father getting killed by the Loch Ness Monster along with two of his colleagues. Cut to present day, and we have a kind of Lake Superior in America, which is suddenly having a kind of rash of disappearances and some of its locals being killed by some kind of wildlife. Cue this young lad who we see in the prologue grown up into Brian Krause, and he's kind of this like cryptozoologist who dresses like he's walked out of a spaghetti western, and he's there to sort of track down this Loch Ness Monster who has managed to swim 4,000 miles under these kind of undersea tunnels to turn up in this sort of lake in America. So there we have a kind of group of kind of misfits. Basically, you've got obviously this hunter himself. You've got a local lad who kind of wants to sort of save his girlfriend who's trapped on the island with her, stereotypical asshole new boyfriend. The attractive local town sheriff and her kind of deputy, and they basically go off and try and stop it, and along with its kind of little monster babies that it seems to have populated as well. So now this film is it's kind of a fun movie. If you're a fan of the kind of sea monster films, I think it's kind of it's fun. There's quite a fun vibe to it. I don't think the acting is too bad, I have to say. I thought it was reasonably well acted for this level of film. It's kind of it's very what you expect. This movie, there's no surprises. All the characters are very kind of like the kind of cliche type characters that you've seen many times before. As I've mentioned, you've kind of got the asshole boyfriend who knows he's going to die at some point. Pretty much just disposable characters sort of turn up, and you just think they're going to be cannon fodder. Anyone but the main cast, you think, oh, they're all going to die. The special effects. Now here's a kind of point of contention. You actually see the monsters are quite a lot in this film, more than I was expecting, and they are mainly used via CGI. So most of the kind of monsters, you have a few puppets because these kind of baby ones are obviously a lot smaller, and there's a couple of instances where they'll use sort of practical puppets, but for the most part they're CGI. And I have to say, overall the CGI was fairly bad in this movie. Now it is a low budget film, so you do have to kind of weigh your kind of expectations somewhat when you're kind of watching these type of films. But nevertheless, there's certain scenes where it looks incredibly bad. However, there's a couple of scenes where they think it looks okay. Generally speaking, in the scenes where it's in the night, I didn't think the CGI looked as bad. But then, unfortunately, most of the things take place during the day with the monster. The actual design of the monster is meant to be a plesiosaur. I think it's meant to be. This film is very obviously not scientifically accurate, in any stretch of the imagination. So if you're kind of wanting historical accuracy, then I suggest looking somewhere else. But it is a kind of a fun movie. I thought the characters were, although they were cliched, they were kind of fun. There are some pretty good, I have to say, practical effects in regards to some of the kind of the bodies and the kind of the prosthetics that are made for the kind of the victims of these monsters. You'll see them sort of strewn around. These kind of monsters like to basically bite people in half and kind of leave the torso or the legs behind for us to see, and they do look pretty effective. It's not overly gory, don't get me wrong, but effective nonetheless. There's certainly worse movies. If you kind of like your kind of B-movie monster flicks, I've seen plenty of worse movies than this. But by no stretch of the imagination is this going to kind of go in my pride of place collection. So I want to give it a 6 out of 10. I'd say it's probably slightly better than average B-movie. It's kind of fun. It has a good sort of sense of, of momentum. It's never really a boring film. So 6 out of 10 for me. What did you think of it? Leave me a comment. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.